Welcome back, everyone, to the Panels on Pages podcast. My name's Dalibor, and this is a podcast where we talk about comic books and the media related to them. Today is Funding Friday, and we're going to be talking about Kickstarter in a little bit of a different way than last time. This is a Kickstarter that I backed recently. This is Scrawlings, the art and sketches of Scurry and More by Max Smith. I fell in love with his art when I first saw the first Scurry volume available. I backed the second and third Scurry volume before ever reading one, because I knew if there was nothing else to happen, I was going to have some amazing art. Lo and behold, when I read them, they were fantastic, super, just really well told story. All in all, I was super excited about it. And this was the art book. And if you know anything about me, you know that I love art books. I love sketchbooks. I love the process. And it's one of those things that didn't click into my brain until recently, but I am a process junkie, and the process of doing things is way more interesting to me than the final product. Like, I love the thing, but I love knowing about how the thing was made. One of my favorite stories of all time is regarding how the first Transformers movie was made. The Transformers movie is not one of my favorite movies of all time, but one of the behind the scenes stories is one of the best stories, my favorite stories of all time. So that's kind of to give you an idea of where I'm at. So this is what I got with this art book. We got a pin, which is just lovely. I'm a big fan. This is one of the bad guys from the series. Fantastic. Man, fantastic. His name is, I think I'm going to pronounce this right. It's Erebus, and I think I'm confident that it's meant to be a reference to Cerberus or Cerebus, depending on how you pronounce it, I guess, from mythology. But I love pins. I've got a con book bag that has been unused for a year now because, the reasons out in the world. So I'm gonna be putting this on that book bag and going forward. And just, man, I love pins. What a simple thing. I used to hate pins, but I don't know. There's something about when it comes with the package of a Kickstarter, something to it. So here we are. It came with some prints and some stickers. This is also, I like to say, I like even numbers. This is 300 out of 450 signed. I love it. Came with a couple prints. I'm sure I'm supposed to know what this is from. I don't. So that is that. But they're lovely prints. They look great. I love Max art. I'm actually, hint, going to be reaching out to him coming up here for the next issue of Catalyst, which we'll be talking about momentarily. This feels like something I should know. This, wise old crudgety, that's not even a word, but this wise old owl thing, and the mouse in the red coat. Man, I really feel like I should know what that is. But this is in this book. Some of this art, some of these pieces are in this book. That's probably, this might be where people know him from before Scurry came out. I know him from Scurry. So for me, this is new, interesting stuff. If this is a comic book or an animation or something, I feel like I need to get to it. Got some awesome stickers, 2 sheets. Die cut stickers are also incredibly underrated when it comes to giveaway stuff for Kickstarters. Absolutely love this collection. Some of the main characters, some of the main villains. Love this. Just this dude. Just love the colors are fantastic. The face. The artwork. Man. If you are listening to this, obviously you will need to check out the podcast on YouTube to see the visuals. But I do want to talk about the interior of this book briefly. Obviously, I'm not going to go through every page or anything, but I love the professionalism of this book. There are 2, there's a range, right? There's a range. There is the stapled together pieces of paper that give you the sketchbook or whatever, however you want to call it. They want if you can go from there all the way to something like this, where it's hardbound, it's professionally laid out. You've got the intro, and you've got the whole process, like this right here, just like the expression practices, love these. Like, this is fantastic. This is the kind of stuff that, honestly, I kind of expected. I wasn't really expecting anything less than this. We've got everything from the expression practices to color layouts, which is fantastic. Where is it? One of these later pages here. Yeah, so it's like all the way from sketch to the final product. Love that. I have a whole folder of these on DeviantArt saved of how people went from their original sketch to the final product. So that's my shit, as they say. And then, yeah, we've got some other stuff from the book, from the series, and then other art, which I love including other art, especially art that is unlike the thing that you bought it for. Like, I love Scurry. I wanted Scurry art, which I've got tons of, but then you also got some caricatures in here. You also got some portraiture, which is fantastic. Like, I love seeing a variety of art, especially from one artist. And then these are the characters that I feel like are from that other print series. Here are those prints. I wish these were labeled. So this is the Mutants, which is obviously, at least based on the logos, it is Thundercats, which I know nothing about. But was there the Mutants show, or was this like a pitch? Like, that's the only thing. If I had a qualm with it, I wish there was like a little paragraph, like, hey, this is what we did. This is what this was for. So I do really like this, and it's got an ISBN, so I feel like you'll probably be able to buy this online. So once you check that out, that is going to be listed in the show notes / description of the YouTube video. But this is a fantastic art book. If you're an art book collector, this is a must buy. Like I said, I love this guy's art so much that I'm going to be reaching out to him to ask if he could possibly bless us with a cover for the next issue of The Catalyst, which is going to be coming out next month. It's going to be an all Kickstarter issue, so that everything featured is going to be Kickstarter artists, creators, and yeah, every book is going to be a book I either have backed, am about to back, or is launching in July, so that people can jump on and check it out. And the thing about this being a digital magazine, I actually realized last issue, is that I can go ahead and update things as needed. For instance, the first issue, I put it together poorly, so none of the links worked. So when I realized that in the second issue, I went back and just fixed it for the first issue. So the first issue now has links that will all link to the artist's websites, Instagram, socials, etc. Yeah, that was an interesting find, but hey, you learn as you go. It's the process. I do want to kind of touch real quick on the format of some of these podcast episodes. Obviously, the first episode was about 30 minutes. The second was about 15, 20 minutes, actually, I think. Whatever. It was short. And the second episode was like 2+ hours. So this is going to be another short one. And the reason for that is I don't want to sit here for an hour and talk about this one specific Kickstarter reward kit. Unless I have just like a larger thesis to discuss. And even then, I'm going to try to keep that under 30 minutes. Like, monologues and specific spotlights like this are going to be 30 minutes or less. And then subsequently, interviews and stuff like that, I'm not going to try to like limit people's time. If we're having a great conversation, if they've got something to say, if they've got something to talk about, we're just going to talk. And however long that goes is how long that goes. I'm going to, as for YouTube, I'm going to explore clipping some of those maybe to give people a shorter piece of content that they can maybe consume in smaller doses. But for now, they are going to be full episodes entirely on YouTube and on Anchor and Spotify. This is on Spotify, y'all. My other podcast isn't on Spotify. So this is already doing better. And again, if you are listening or watching here and you are not currently subscribed to The Catalyst, please, thecatalyst.digital. It's on the screen. It's down below. Check it out. Sign up for the free magazine, completely free. No ads. Nobody's charging anybody for anything. I'm not charging anybody for features. I am just featuring people that I like, featuring material that I enjoy, promoting independent creators, which is all that magazine is about. But that's going to be it. Again, very short one this time, just looking over this Kickstarter reward package. I have a few other physical Kickstarters coming soon. I did also pick up a specific book. This was something I saw on TikTok. This was a creator who was pitching the book, and I was like, hey, that looks awesome. And it's in a trade, which is perfect for me. So I said, hey, I'm going to pick it up. It's called Ace Blade. It is on the screen right now, also linked below. I haven't read it yet, so I'm not going to give you a pitch, but it's interesting. It's set in Vegas, which not a lot of stories are set in Vegas. I like having stories take place in different places other than just New York. Most comic book stories seem to take place in New York, especially most mainstream things. Obviously, DC stuff is like, you know, made up cities, but they're basically New York, Chicago. Chicago is a big one for me, especially for indie creators, because typically people who write in Chicago are from Chicago and they know the place. So like, I like seeing the little, I've been there. That's cool. Like, I like seeing that kind of stuff. So I expect to see the same thing. Like, I really enjoyed the recent Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider series because it took place in Vegas. I thought it was very interesting, a very different approach. It's different people, different mentality. Like, it's like almost tangibly a different environment. People speak differently, people approach things differently, approach problems differently. You know, in Vegas, this is just in reference to the Marvel Universe, there's not a lot of things happening in Vegas, except that time that they blew it up and then just like rebuilt it, and then it was fine, I guess. Super weird, but such was Secret Empire. Anyway, my point is Vegas doesn't get a lot of attention. There have been a smattering of a few things in recent years, but other than that, it's like been New York, maybe DC. Like, Thunderbolts was in the Adirondacks, I believe. Like, East Coast. So when they do a Chicago story, when they do a Vegas story, I'm interested. Even to a point, West Coast, but that we did have a couple series, West Coast Avengers, running for a very long time. So that's, you know, a non-thing. But anyway, neither here nor there. That whole segment really belongs on the Tangents podcast, which isn't back yet, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, yeah, Ace Blade is the other book that I picked up recently. I backed a few more things on Kickstarter. I think right now I've got 3 active Kickstarters, and then I've got a bunch that have been delivered. So we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be reaching out to those folks, maybe bringing in some of those books into this issue of The Catalyst. But yeah, absolutely, check it out, thecatalyst.digital. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.